whatever for the people watching later. And I'm gonna make this YouTube channel for all the close of the month stuff, so it's all in one place, all the videos, and then anybody can get it, even if you don't like Facebook or whatever. So I'm working on that for us, since we can't do the live to Facebook and it's all weird now. And we'll probably have some other changes, coming up with everything else that's going on with travel and whatnot. But for today, we're here. So blocks or walls or furniture, whatever you like to have for helping with a little bit of balance in our warrior three pose. And we'll go ahead and get started. You can start seated, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a plan. I never have a plan. Probably should tell you guys that. Let's see what the cards say. They're our plan. They guide us. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. See, we don't need plans. The very pretty spring card. We were talking about needing more spring to be happening right now. So our card is giving us a little dose of that, at least some flowers poking up there. All right, so let's stick with that intuition. We'll start seated. So if you like a block or a cushion or whatever, find your way into your comfortable seat. Whatever feels good for the legs, straight, twisted up, however you land. The lower body sink, the upper body gets tall, almost floating up towards the sky, right? Making space for the breath. Bringing our focus to the breath. Maybe even counting our inhales and our exhales. Or marking them with the words inhale, exhale to ourselves. Going deep, filling all the way down into the lower belly with air, all the way up to the collarbone. Our rib cage actually ends just under our collarbone. Fill this whole cavity, that prana, that energy. With every breath, the mind quiets. Everything kind of just fades into the background except what's happening right here. With our body, our breath. And as the mind tries to pull us away on a story or this or that or a to-do, just bring it back to the breath. Come back to whatever mantra you need to repeat or counting, whatever pulls you back to this quiet moment, this center. Let this become like your North Star, that guiding light, this place you can always come back to. No matter where you travel off to. In this quiet and in this stillness that we can learn to listen to our gut, right? Our card talks about intuition. We can't listen to our intuition if we can't hear it, right? So we need to figure out a way that works for us to quiet the noise enough so that we can hear what our gut is trying to tell us, what that intuition is speaking. I can tell you from experience, this last couple of years, this last year, really, even more so, I have followed that intuition. Things that feel like yes, I give yes energy to. And the things that feel like, maybe not, I don't give my energy to. I gotta tell you, it's been a great year. That says a lot in the year we've had. It's been a tough year. Just because it's been great doesn't mean it hasn't been hard, right? Just following, listening, tuning in, has led me to amazing things and adventures and continues to do so. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. It's a little bit like jumping off a cliff, right? It's a literal leap of faith. Trusting. Trust you. No one knows you better or what you need. Just a couple more breaths here. When you're ready on an inhale, send those arms up to the sky. Really reach tall. Maybe the head drops back, kind of stretching the front of the throat. Let's bring gaze towards the sky. And on an exhale, the arms can flow back down to earth, coming behind the back, interlace the fingers, press the palms away. Opening the heart, pulling shoulder blades together. Yogi's choice, you can stay here or you can fold forward, coming down towards the ground as the arms come up towards the sky. Make sure you're not holding the breath here. Release the arms. If you're folded, you can kind of use the hands to walk yourself back up to seated. And just kind of shake the shoulders out when you get there. Going from both directions, a little bit to the back, a little bit to the front. Just kind of waking up that upper part of the body. Adding a little bit of twist to the neck if that feels good. Coming from one side to the other. Again, just finding some little movements, waking things up. And as you're ready, we'll come back to neutral, come back to stillness. We'll add some twists in, wake up the spine, so sending those arms up, reaching, finding some space. And on the exhale, you'll come into the twist, coming to the right. So right hand comes behind, and left arm can kind of hook on the outside of that right leg, right, helping us into the twist. Keep pressing down through that left hip though, try not to let it roll up into the twist with you. You want to keep it in the spine. You take that gaze over the right shoulder. That feels good on the neck. You're going to draw the twist up even further, right? Find the breath. And inhale, come back to neutral. Sending those arms up one more time. Again, finding space, right? Really reaching. And then on the exhale, we'll come to the left this time. The same thing, pressing that right hip down. We want to try to keep a tall, straight spine. So if you notice like rounding that lower back, come out of the twist a little bit, find that tall spine, then try deepening the twist if that's available. It never matters how deep we want to pose if our alignment is just all over the place. Inhale, we'll come back to neutral. We'll make our way over into tabletop. Couple cat cows. We'll work on that modified warrior 3, right? Our bird dogs. Build a little, it's a great workout, bird dogs. Great drill. Build that core strength and balance. When you come into tabletop, make sure you're setting yourself up with that good foundation, right? Alignment. We always want to start there. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. On an inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pressing into those hands as the gaze comes back towards the feet. Just move through a few rounds of cat-cows or any movement that feels good here, right? You guys know my position on this. Cat-cows make it weird. Add whatever other movements feel good, little side stretches, right? You can kind of do like some rolls from one side to the other. Whatever feels good, waking up the body, just kind of saying hello to that whole back, into the hips. And we'll do one more full round before coming back to that neutral. And as you land in neutral, we'll start building that heat, firing up with those bird dogs, right? So add an inhale. We'll start with just the feet. Press that right leg back. Remember our cues for our warrior three pose. We want to pull down on that pinky edge of the toe, keeping that flat back. Right? We don't want to open the hip, no external rotation in the hip here. We want to pull that right hip down, keeping it level with the ground. That's that pinky edge cue. Pressing through that heel, engaging the core here. Our hands are on the mat, so keep pressing the mat away. Keep the chest lifted here. Next exhale, we can release that right knee down. Inhale, send the left knee back. Same thing on this side. We're pressing through the heel. We want to avoid that external rotation in the hip, so we're pulling down on that pinky edge of the foot, squaring ourselves up with the ground. Activating that core, helping to keep it balanced here. Last breath. Exhale, release it down. Take it out if you need to have some movement, release that little bit of tension, go for it. And on this next round, we'll add the arms if you're up for it. The right, pressing back through that right foot. We'll bring the left arm forward. And here's an option for your arms when you're in standing warrior 3-2, right? You can use one hand on a wall or a block, reach one arm forward. Kind of practicing that balance with the arms up in the air. Palm's gonna face the middle here. It's like you're gonna shake someone's hand. Last breath, release it down. Inhale, left leg back, right arm reaches forward. And just like you're pressing through that heel, you're reaching through those fingers, like you're trying to touch whatever's in front of and behind you. And to hold the breath here. Next, exhale, release it down. Same thing, shake it out, find some movement if that feels good. Then we're gonna hop right up into down dog. So at your pace, slide those hands forward, coming up on the toes. Inhale, press the hips high. Pedal out the feet, waking up those legs. Deep bends in the knees if that feels good. And as you're ready, like I said, just moving here at your pace, pressing the heels to the earth, chest towards the thighs, head and neck are loose. Remember those cues we did with the arms in class recently for down dog. Last breath here. On an inhale, we'll put a bend in the knees, walking our way to the top of the mat. We'll meet in a forward fold. Legs straight or knees bent here, whatever feels good. Maybe start with bent knees, slowly starting to straighten them as you wake up those hamstrings. Letting the crown pull towards the earth. On an inhale, hands come to the shins, half lift. Think about that crown pulling forward now, lengthening the spine. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. And inhale, sweep those arms to the sky. And exhale, pray to your heart. Closing the eyes here for a moment. Finding your breath. You can keep the hands of prayer, relax them down to your side, whatever is more comfortable. Staying with this pause for a moment. Getting a little tuck in the chin. And slowly float open the eyes. And we'll jump into our Warrior 3 practice. So last week we really went over the cues for this pose. This week we'll just kind of move through a nice seamless flow on both sides. So whatever you need to set yourself up with to balance, if you want to come by the wall. So 2 options for the wall. You can actually see me make contact with it here with the plant. You can use the wall in front of you, and as you come into Warrior 3, you can press your hands against the wall as a stabilizer for you. This way those arms are forward, gonna help keep the upper body lifted rather than going down for a block, right? Other option for the wall is use it for your foot. So you're gonna come a little too close. You're gonna come your leg length away and press the sole of your foot right up against the wall. That's gonna help find your body in space. That's one of the big benefits of this pose, is helping us figure out where our body is in space as we're putting ourselves in alignment, basically floating, right? As we're in this pose, our top body and our lifted leg are kind of floating. So that's one of the big benefits here. The other benefits we're getting from this pose, like a lot of other balance postures, we're building up those muscles in the feet and the ankles, the legs, major core strength, working on our balance, which is so important, as we know. So great benefits here in this pose. So whatever you're going to use to set yourself up with your balance, have that handy. And that the wall is a great option too. You just are, you're just gonna spend a few minutes doing the pose for the day. Maybe do it at the wall, maybe set up a mirror or your camera so you can see yourself, or have a friend. You've got somebody else in the house with you to tell you where you are, right? So you can feel it. So we'll start Tadasana at the top of the mat. Like I said, we'll move through a little bit of a flow to come into this today. So rooting down through those feet, lifting up tall through everything else, finding space through the body, kind of activating, turning everything on. The last thing I want you to do in this posture to seal the deal is smile. Pulling back that card that we drew today, trusting my intuition to guide me where I need to go. And let that be the intention for this flow. Next, inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, dive it down the middle. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, left foot, find a low lunge. Wake up those legs a little bit. Checking in with that front foot, right? We want to stack that knee over ankle, back leg lifting through that quad, through the back of that knee. On an inhale, we're going to ground down through that front foot as we lift the top body, coming into high lunge. You can do whatever with your hands here. Hips, prayer, you want to lift them. Last breath here. And let's come up a little bit with that back leg. Straighten that front leg. Get a little release in that quad. Kind of landing in like pyramid pose leg. And if we bent that front knee, we're in warrior 1. But we'll give that front leg not too much of a workout since we're going to come into warrior 3 from here. So when you come in from here, you are going to bend into that front knee just to give you some lift off as you lift that back leg. Then you'll straighten, bring the top body down. pressing through that heel, coming into warrior three. And again, using whatever props you want here. If you're on a wall, if you've got some furniture, hands can be balancing you, or if you've got it, they said you could go for one arm supporting you, one arm reaching. See, my body's gonna balance today. You can go for both arms, reaching. And if you fall out, let that back leg come back to land in high lunge. We'll all meet there. After your balance, let yourself land and get steady. Cartwheel those arms down to frame the front foot. Inhale that back foot up to meet the front, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back, right foot, low lunge. We'll go through this side a little quicker now that you know what we're doing. So just give yourself a moment in each pose. Find your low lunge. Where's that front leg need to be? Knee over ankle, pressing down through the front foot, right? This is gonna be your connection to the mat, this left foot. Back leg strong and straight, lifting through that knee. Heart open, pulling forward. When you're ready, grounding down through that front foot. Inhale, lift the top body, high lunge. Same thing. Find your balance. Find the pose. Find your breath. Popping up that back foot just a little bit so you can get it flat on the mat, straightening that front leg, pyramid leg. Hip space forward, right? Our warrior three, close hip pose. Headlight straight ahead. Keep that in mind. As you're ready to lift, you're gonna bend into that front knee, lifting the back leg, straighten the front knee. Find your warrior three. Look down on that pinky edge, squaring those hips. Lift through the chest. Try not to collapse down. And if blocks don't get you high enough that the chest can stay lifted, find a chair or a table or something, right? Or use the wall. Holding here for as long as feels good. When you're ready, that back leg comes down to land, lifting top body back into high lunge. Now the reverse. Find your balance. Find stability in the pose. Then cartwheel those arms down. On an inhale, back foot comes up to meet the front, half lift. Exhale, fold. And from here, let's just plant the knees, coming down to seated again. Taking a moment to close the eyes. Let the body settle. Going back to our card. Trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. Maybe let that guide just the rest of your day today. See how it feels. Taking this moment to thank yourself for practicing today. And I thank you for joining me. Bring your hands to prayer. We'll touch down first at the third eye for kind thought. Prayer touches at the lips for loving words. Finally, coming to rest at the heart for an open heart. The light in me honors the same divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. All right, so there's a nice little mini flow that you guys can practice with. If you choose to, like I said, you can just do the pose, right? You can take 2 minutes in your day, stand by the wall, use your hands, use your foot, whatever works. and maybe that's the pose, or you get down on your knees to a couple rounds of bird dogs, right? That counts. All of those things count. So if you want to expand on it and do a little flow, a little practice, that little transition that we did, low lunge to high lunge to warrior three, with that pyramid in the middle, is a nice little flow that you can use. Um, that's it for today. I hope everybody has a beautiful week. I hope it stays less gloomy, although I think it's supposed to rain this afternoon, but I'll take the sunshine for now while we've got it. Full week this week, Thursday 4 o'clock, Saturday 9 o'clock, and I think that's it. Just have an